Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and this is day 2 of the 80 Days to Your Dream Body. Your protein source is going to be sockeye salmon, and right now I am going to be taking you through a full stretching routine that's going to be accompanying the chest workout. For the stretching routine, I've got 2 stretches for you. We are going to be doing a stretch for the pectoralis major and also one for the anterior deltoid. For the pectoralis major stretch, it is going to be a PNF stretching exercise for the pectoralis major. I have the stretch band right over here. If you don't have a stretch band, you could also use a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you could just find something sturdy and you could perform it as an isometric contraction. But I really like using the strength bands for these types of exercises. What you are going to do is once you have fastened the strength band or the yoga strap or whatever you have, using a supinated grip, meaning your palm facing the ceiling, you are going to put your hand into the strap and then you are going to close your hand over top. We are then going to come out until we get a nice stretch on the end. We get a lot of tension on the actual band, and we want to rotate away from the side that we are actually stretching. So we want to move away from the band. Then from this position right over here, because the pectoralis major is responsible for both medial rotation and horizontal adduction, we are going to contract by bringing the arm forward into horizontal adduction and turning the palm down toward the ceiling or toward the floor. So we are going to go into horizontal adduction, medial rotation, hold that for 6 seconds. After 6 seconds has passed, we are going to relax and we are going to come farther in and we are going to rotate to the side. And we're going to hold this for 10 seconds. We are then going to go again and we're going to contract the muscle. So go into horizontal adduction, medial rotation, turn that palm down toward the floor. We're going to hold that for 6 seconds and then we are going to relax. So we're going to come a little bit farther out and rotate a little bit more to get more of a stretch over the pectoralis major. After 10 seconds, we are going to do one final pass. So horizontal adduction, turn the palm down toward the ceiling, the floor. After 6 seconds, you are going to relax, palm back up, come out, turn the body a little bit more. And on this final pass, we are going to hold it for 20 seconds. One thing worth noting is with regard to the arm, we want the arm roughly at the level of the glenohumeral angle. And if you're not sure where that is, it's going to be roughly where when you have your arm straightened out, when your arm is at the level or when your hand is at the level of your forehead, that's roughly going to be the glenohumeral angle. It's going to be anywhere between 90 to 135 degrees. And then once we've completed that, we're going to do the opposite hand. So once again, we got the arm, we got a supinated grip, so palm facing the ceiling. We are going to put our hand in there, give a nice little pinch, grab a hold, and we're going to move away until we get a nice stretch onto the pec. We're going to turn and rotate our body, and then we are going to engage. So we're going to go into horizontal adduction, medial rotation by pointing the arm down to the floor. Hold that for 6 seconds, and then relax. So back up to the ceiling. We're going to come out, rotate the body so that we can get even more of a pec stretch. After 10 seconds, same thing. Horizontal adduction, medial rotation, hold that for 6 seconds. After 6 seconds, relax, come farther out, rotate a little bit more so we can get a little bit more horizontal abduction, which is the opposite of what we are engaging. And then again, so now horizontal adduction to engage the muscle, medial rotation. After 10 seconds, we relax. So we go back into supination, palm faces the ceiling, and we're going to go into retraction of the scapula and horizontal abduction. That way we create more myofascial tension on the pectoralis major. And on this final pass, we are going to be holding it for 20 seconds, and that was probably about 10 seconds. So by now, we should have about 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And now that we have completed the PNF stretching exercise for the pectoralis major, we are going to move on to the myofascial stretching exercise for the anterior deltoid. For the myofascial stretching exercise for the anterior deltoid, we are going to work from the ground up. Because the anterior deltoid is located in the front, we want to create as much myofascial tension along the anterior chain. So we're going to be in a tall kneeling position. You want to go into anteversion of the pelvis, so you are going to tuck your pelvis forward. Imagine that you have a bowl of soup and you're dipping it forward. And then what that's going to do is, because the rectus abdominis attaches to the pubic symphysis, we have the abdominals under tension, which is going to lead to tension under the pectoralis major since it inserts into the abdominals, which is going to create greater myofascial tension at the anterior deltoid. From there, what we would want to do is we're going to tuck the chin in, we're going to slightly extend, and we're going to look away from the side that we're stretching. So we're going to do a lateral side bend and look up toward the sky. And it helps to know what exactly the anterior deltoid does. Its main functions are going to be flexion of the shoulder and medial rotation, and it's also going to assist in abduction. So because it does those three actions, we are going to reverse engineer them. So we are going to go into extension, lateral rotation by turning the arm out, and we are going to go into adduction by taking the opposite arm, and we are going to pull it across. So from here, again, we got the chin tucked in, lateral bend, ipsilateral rotation, and we are going to hold this for 30 seconds. When we are holding this position, we want to make sure that we are not just passively stretching the muscle, but we are actively engaging everything. So you are actively extending the shoulder, you are actively externally rotating the shoulder, and you want to try and actively try to engage the rhomboids and the scapular tractors as much as possible so that you are opening up the chest and getting as much of a stretch as possible. And I think that was about 30 seconds. One thing that I did forget to mention is that when we initiate the motion, we are going to go into retraction of the scapula. That is going to put the anterior deltoid on a pre-stretch. But again, anteversion of the pelvis, nice and tall, chin tucked in, extend up, move away, look toward. We're going to retract the scapula. We are going to go into extension, lateral rotation with the opposite arm. We're going to pull across, and we are going to hold this for 30 seconds. With the myofascial stretching exercises, we always perform them for 3 sets of 30 seconds, and you always want to make sure that you are engaging every single one of the actions. So you want to do the counter actions. Because it's responsible for flexion, medial rotation, and abduction, we are doing extension, lateral rotation, and adduction. And I'm not sure how long that was, but it feels pretty damn close to 30 seconds. Let's say we got about 5 seconds left. All right, now we're going to go to the other side. So we've got 2 more passes on each side. So we're in that same position. We're going to extend, laterally rotate, reach behind, and really focus on the lateral rotation. So really try and get your fingers pointing to your opposite heel. Right now, I am working on my right anterior deltoid, so I'm trying to get my right middle finger to point toward my left heel. And let's say we've got about 10 seconds left. Now we're going to switch. We're going to take the opposite arm, extension, lateral rotation, retract the scapula, bring the arm into adduction, and try to actively adduct it as well while maintaining that retraction of the scapula. Maintain that anteversion of the pelvis too. That way we could create some myofascial tension on the abdominals, which will transfer into the superficial fibers of the pectoralis major and get more of a myofascial tension onto the anterior deltoid. I think that was about probably 20 seconds. So we've got about 10 left. And now we are on the final pass. So we're going to take the opposite arm. We are going to retract scapula, extension, lateral rotation, adduction, and we are going to do a lateral side bend. So a contralateral side bend of the cervical spine away from the side, and then ipsilateral rotation by looking toward the side. Really try and point those fingers toward the opposite heel. It's going to make a big, big difference. You don't want this to be a passive stretch. You want it to be active on the side that you were actually stretching. So whatever the actions are of the muscle that you're stretching, whenever we do myofascial stretching, you are engaging all of the counteractions. And we're going to relax. One more pass. Extension, lateral rotation, adduction. Contralateral side bend of the neck, ipsilateral rotation. And we've got 30 seconds. Once we complete this final pass, that is it for day 2 of the 80 Days to Your Dream Body. If you guys have any questions with regard to anything that we discussed today, go ahead and drop them down. And if you have any suggestions for topics in later videos, let me know and I will cover them. And I think that was about 30 seconds. So now we're gonna go ahead, shake everything out, And congratulations on completing day 2 of the 80 days to your dream body. Thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. Be sure to like, share, and leave a comment as it'll help the algorithm. And if you enjoyed the content, show your support by subscribing to the channel by clicking on the icon in the bottom right corner. And if you really want to show your support, then consider becoming a member by clicking on the icon in the bottom left corner. These new high quality videos aren't cheap to edit, and the $5 membership will really help with the video editing budget. You'll also get access to a ton of exclusive perks like early access to videos and this program design lecture playlist in the top right-hand corner. And if you want to learn how to do a one-armed pull-up, then check out the playlist on the top left corner.